Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like people just expect you to always be available? Like, no matter how much you give, your time, your energy, your kindness, it's never enough? And when you finally try to set a boundary, suddenly, you're the a-hole. Girl, I've been there. And let me tell you, being the nice one isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Because at some point, being too nice stops being kindness and starts being self-sacrifice. But here's the truth no one tells you: people will take as much as you allow them to. If you never say no, they'll keep asking for more. If you never stand up for yourself, they'll assume you don't mind being walked on. And before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of people pleasing while your own needs are pushed to the side. So, let's talk about it. Today, we are getting real about why people take advantage of you, how to set boundaries without guilt, and most importantly, how to reclaim your power, not just in your relationships, but in your finances too. Because when you stand firm in your worth, everything changes. Let's get into it. The hidden cost of being too nice. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you said yes to something you didn't want to do, just because you didn't want to seem rude? Maybe you covered for a coworker when you were already exhausted. Or you loaned money to a friend, even though you knew you wouldn't get it back. Or you stayed quiet when someone disrespected you, just to keep the peace. I get it. We are taught from a young age that being nice is a good thing. And it is, until it costs you your peace, your time, and your future. Because here's the thing, when you're constantly putting everyone else first, you're sending a message: my needs don't matter. And people believe what you teach them. The moment you start making yourself small to accommodate others, they will expect you to stay that way. And let's talk about the financial side of this for a second. Have you ever noticed that being too nice can actually cost you money? Like when you undercharge for your work because you don't want to seem greedy. Or when you let someone talk you into working for exposure instead of real pay. Or even when you feel guilty for saying no to people who constantly ask for favors, but would never return them. So let me ask you this: when was the last time someone prioritized you the way you prioritize them? When was the last time you said yes to yourself instead of saying yes to keep someone else comfortable? If you can't remember, then sis, it's time to stop. Nice doesn't pay the bills. Respect does. And if you don't start valuing yourself, no one else will. Why people take advantage of you, and how to stop it. Let me tell you something that took me way too long to learn. People will take as much as you allow them to. Not because they're evil, not because they're out to get you, but because that's human nature. If you never say no, they'll keep asking for more. If you never push back, they'll keep pushing forward. And if you never stand up for yourself, they'll assume you're okay with being walked on. And listen, I know you felt it. That sinking feeling when you realize someone only calls when they need something. That frustration when you're always the one adjusting, always the one apologizing, always the one bending over backward, while they never do the same for you. And let's be real, this isn't just about friendships and relationships. This happens at work too. You work twice as hard as everyone else, but they keep piling more on your plate because they know you won't complain. Or you hesitate to ask for the raise you know you deserve because you don't want to come across as difficult. But let me tell you something that changed my whole mindset: the people who stand up for themselves don't get taken advantage of. Not because they're mean or selfish, but because they make it clear that they won't tolerate disrespect. And that applies to your time, your energy, and your money. So here's what I want you to do. Start recognizing the signs. If someone only reaches out when they need something, pay attention. If you feel drained every time you interact with them, ask yourself why. And if you hesitate to speak up because you're afraid of their reaction, Remind yourself that the people who truly respect you will never punish you for having boundaries. Because the moment you start enforcing boundaries, you'll see who really values you, and who only valued what you could do for them. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. Okay, let's clear something up right now. Setting boundaries does not make you mean, difficult, or selfish. I don't know who needs to hear this, but saying no does not make you a bad person. Prioritizing your own needs does not make you inconsiderate. And choosing yourself, that is not something you should ever feel guilty for. But I get it. We have been conditioned to think that being a good person means being available all the time, saying yes to everything, being the one everyone can count on. But let's be honest, who's really counting on you, and who's just counting on what you can do for them? Because here's what I've learned: boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They separate the people who genuinely respect you from the people who just want to take advantage of your kindness. The moment you start saying, "No, I can't do that," or "I need to focus on myself," watch how certain people react. If they respect you, they'll understand. If they get angry, they were never there for you, just for what they could get from you. And listen, this isn't just about your time and energy, this is about your money, your career, your future. People will guilt trip you into working for free, into lending them money, into doing favors that drain you. And why? Because they know you'll say yes. But here's the real question: would they do the same for you? So let me ask you, what's more selfish? Expecting someone to give without ever pouring back into them? Or setting boundaries so that you don't keep running on empty? Sis, the real flex is knowing your worth and acting like it. And the moment you do, you stop attracting people who only see you as an option, and start attracting people who respect you as a priority. How to set boundaries without guilt? Alright, sis, let's talk about the guilt. Because I already know, the moment you start saying no, the moment you start prioritizing yourself, there's going to be this little voice in your head saying, "Am I being too harsh? Am I being selfish? What if they get mad?" First of all, let's flip that. Why is it that when you put yourself last, no one says anything? But the moment you start choosing yourself, suddenly it's a problem. That's not a coincidence. That's conditioning. So here's what you need to remember: you are not responsible for other people's reactions to your boundaries. Read that again. The people who actually care about you will respect your limits. The ones who don't, they were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. And that's not on you. Now, let's talk about how to start setting boundaries without feeling guilty about it. Next time someone asks for something you don't want to do, try this. 1. Keep it short and simple. 1. You don't need to over-explain. 1. I can't do that right now is a full sentence. 2. Don't apologize for prioritizing yourself. 2. Stop saying, "I'm so sorry, but," just say what you mean. 3. If they push back, repeat yourself. 3. You don't need to debate your own limits. 3. I understand, but I can't or I don't do. If they still push back, the answer is no, I don't need to explain why. 3. 4. Remember, no is not rude. 4. No is not mean. 4. No is necessary. And let's be real, this applies to your finances too. If someone asks to borrow money and you're not comfortable with it, say no. If you're being asked to work for free when you should be getting paid, say no. If your boss keeps piling work on you without giving you the raise you deserve, say no and start looking for better opportunities. Because the truth is, no one else is going to protect your time, your energy, and your money, except you. And the moment you start standing firm in your boundaries, two things will happen. The right people will respect you more, and the wrong people will get mad, which makes it easier to remove them from your life. And either way, you win. Building financial independence, your true power. Alright, sis, we have talked about setting boundaries with your time and energy, but now we need to talk about something just as important, your financial independence. Because let's be real, if you don't have control over your money, you don't have full control over your life. And I don't care how strong, how independent, or how self-sufficient you are, if you're relying on someone else for financial security or to manage your money the way they see fit, that's a power imbalance. And power imbalances, they lead to control. Think about it. How many women stay in bad jobs, bad relationships, or bad situations just because they feel like they can't afford to walk away? How many times have you wanted to say I quit, or I'm done, or I deserve better, but you hesitated, because you didn't know how you'd support yourself if you left? That's why financial independence is non-negotiable. You deserve to have the freedom to make choices based on what's best for you, not based on whether or not you can afford to leave. So, how do you start building financial security for yourself? Let's break it down. I don't care if it's a side hustle, freelancing, investing, or starting your own business, you need something that's yours. Something that no one else can take away from you. Because when you have your own income, you have power. And when you have power, you have choices. How many times have you done extra work for free because you didn't want to seem difficult? How many times have you let someone lowball you because you were scared to ask for more? No more of that. Your time, your skills, your expertise, they're valuable. Start acting like it. I know it's tempting to spend everything you make, especially when you finally start earning more. But sis, listen, having money saved up gives you options. It gives you the freedom to walk away from anything that no longer serves you. So start small if you have to, but start. Even if it's just putting aside $20 a week, that money adds up. And one day, it might be the exact thing that lets you leave a situation that's no longer right for you. Stop feeling guilty for keeping your money to yourself. Listen, you are not an ATM. You are not a charity. And you are not responsible for fixing other people's financial problems at the expense of your own security. So if people try to guilt trip you into constantly giving, remind yourself, no one else is going to secure your future for you. That's your job. Oh, and stop sharing all your business. No one needs to know what multiple incomes you're building or have, how much you're making, how much you're saving, what funds you have available, or what all it is you own. Because here's the truth, when you have financial independence, you no longer have to tolerate nonsense. You don't have to stay where you're not valued. You don't have to beg for opportunities. You don't have to be at anyone's mercy. You get to move on your own terms, live on your own terms, and make decisions that actually benefit you. And sis, that is true power. Cutting out toxic people. Alright, sis, let's get real. Once you start setting boundaries, once you start prioritizing yourself, and especially once you start securing your own bag, some people are not going to like it. And that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of them. Because here's the truth, some people only liked you because you were easy to take advantage of. Some people only stuck around because you always said yes. Some people only respected you as long as you were bending over backward to accommodate them. And the moment you stop, the moment you say, I can't do this anymore, or I need to focus on myself, they're gonna act brand new, like you're the problem. But let me tell you something, you didn't change. You just stopped tolerating what you never should have accepted in the first place. And if someone can't handle the new, stronger, self-respecting version of you, then let them go. And listen, I know it's hard. I know it hurts. Some of these people might be friends you've had for years, family members, even a partner. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, are they really for me, or were they only for what I could do for them? Because a real friend, a real partner, a real support system, they don't get mad when you grow. They don't get offended when you start respecting yourself. They don't try to make you feel guilty for focusing on your goals. They cheer for you. They celebrate you. They support you. So if someone is making you feel bad for leveling up, for getting your finances right, for protecting your time, for saying no when you need to, that's your sign. They were never truly in your corner. And sis, you don't need dead weight in your life. You don't need people who only love you when you're convenient. You don't need to keep shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. So let them talk. Let them be mad. Let them leave. Because the right people, they're not gonna leave. They're gonna see your growth and say, I'm proud of you. And those are the people who deserve a seat at your table. The rest, let them watch from a distance. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your life, sis. Here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the respect, the financial security, or the peace of mind you deserve. You have to claim it for yourself. And that starts with the choices you make today. You are not a doormat. You are not an afterthought. And you are not here to live your life trying to keep everyone else comfortable while you struggle in silence. So, set the boundary. Say no without guilt. Protect your time, your energy, and your money. Because the moment you do, you stop attracting users and start attracting respect. And that changes everything. If what I've shared in this video resonates with you, go ahead and click on like so more women will see this. Share with someone you feel may need to hear this. Leave a comment if you feel inspired to share what you need to say to today or what you need to delegate a responsibility to someone else. Go ahead and subscribe for more inspirational, motivational, let's take action today type of videos.